Okay? There is no George. George, you could. It's a
Why can't
mistake. It's a
why
mistake to
can't I
call
exist
yourself George
in
George the
constant-
next moment.
Why can't I exist in constant motion and change? Why can't humans exist
Because that's not what
as
existence means.
ever-changing?
Existence
life?
means you stay the same. Now,
That's
you want
the
to change, you
definition.
have a
maybe
different...
maybe that's a faulty definition. Simple.
Well, show me that I'm wrong. I mean, how, I made the definition. How could it be faulty?
Well, I keep talking to you for some reason, even though you've undergone
You have
a
the book.
zillion,
You have the
a
book.
zillion
Why don't you look
changes.
up exist?
Wrong volume.
He'll probably say exist to be. that encyclopedia will say to exist to be.
No, we're on the atomists now. That's, existence is next. What about the atom as constantly moving? That's not the thing then. What if there's no unmoving particle? Does that destroy the theory or not? I think you've argued that it doesn't.
You ever hear of the concept of, listen to this, stay slow, you know, eternal self-energy?
No.
You never heard of that?
I've never heard of that.
What does that mean to you?
It means absolutely nothing.
All right, try now. You're smart. Harvard, go for it. What does that mean to you? Eternal self-energy. Come on, do it. What does it mean?
You tell me.
No.
Yes, yes. Go.
Well, it's simple.
Uh-huh.
It means eternal, means forever. You have energy in yourself, right? That's what the atom is made of. Eternal self-energy. The electron or these particles walk in a world of eternal self-energy. Okay? And eternal self-energy does not stand still. It's all these, the atom and the subatomic particles are in constant motion.
What is the
They
self?
don't stand
What is
still.
the self?
Now, there is a world that they call absolute zero. They've tried to take the atom, it's minus 273 degrees centigrade, okay, which is somewhere around 500 and some degrees Fahrenheit. And they put the atom in that kind of a temperature to see what happens. In the old days, when I was studying, they used to call that where all motion stops, where the atom, paying attention?
Yes.
Where the atom does not move. But now, recently, they have found
It quivers.
it quivers. Okay. So if you want to get a world, if you want to get a world where atomic or subatomic particles are not moving, I don't know how cold you're going to have to make it. You're going to have to wear long underwear on, man. And that again, even if you could create that world where that cold, 5,000 degrees below zero or something, if you could create that wouldn't make any difference. You know why? Because we're not discussing that. We're discussing humanity, and has the relationship of humanity to the atomic, to Magava, to the atomic and subatomic world. And what does that mean to humanity every day when it wakes up and sees the sun rising and say, and humanity realizes that it doesn't exist, it's not here, what does it do?
How and when did atomic knowledge, as you call it, alter your self-perception?
It's got to be about 25 years ago, something like that. I know. Let me see, maybe 28 years ago, 29 years ago.
How did it alter your self-perception?
Well, it was the first thing is that if everything is made up of moving atoms, then nothing stays the same from one moment to the next. That was the first thing hit my head. And the next logical thing is if I don't stay the same from one moment to the next, and I don't exist. And that was right there. That came bang, bang. You know?
But you knew about people getting older and looking different and aging and dying, quote unquote, as we call it, outside of the Copernicus world. So you knew that there was something going on there, that you were not the same. You were obviously changing all the time. We knew that even before we knew about atoms. Didn't we? Somehow.
Yeah, so what about it?
But what you're saying, New, presumably, is that if that change is going on, then you're not anything, which nobody else ever accepted before, that you are something, but there is still change. What's wrong with that old view that there's...
Because it's wrong. It's wrong.
Who says it's wrong?
It's wrong and bad thinking. Bad thinking will lead you to bad places. Are you a conservative? Are you trying to maintain the old? I'm here to destroy the old, to bring the new.
Well, wouldn't it be foolish to destroy the old? Is everything bad about the old? I mean, only a foolish person, presumably, destroys everything just because it's old.
No, destroy what doesn't work.
Because then what you're saying is
doesn't
old
work.
tomorrow. What you're saying is old tomorrow.
Destroy what doesn't work.
It's to be destroyed.
My time will come when they will come and they destroy what I have to say. If I don't know about 90% of matter, then what I'm saying is going to be wrong. They're going to be scientists, people. They're going to be Copernicuses in the future. They're going to come and make fun of me. That's part of the process. But I still have to be noble. I still have to call the old, because I maybe am the new. Maybe. Maybe.
If somebody's watching us right now and they're an adolescent and they kind of like what you're talking about and believe you, how do you think that would change their life in practical terms if they try to apply? A young person who hasn't been too influenced by...
They should listen to the albums, read the book, and if they have any questions, they can write to me, and I would answer any questions they would have.
Forget about them writing to you.
Yeah, but I'm saying they would have to...
How would them buying in at a young age to what you're saying affect their lives? How would it change the course of their life?
It would bring them into a new consciousness which would seriously affect their view of reality, which would then seriously affect how they would act every day.
How would it change their view of reality in terms of practical decisions?
They would immediately see themselves as part of the entire universe. And that concept alone will expand them immensely. That alone expands you immensely and brings you into... You become immediately a part of the sun, a part of Venus. You become part of every star that ever is, because that's where you came from. And you lose your identity. You don't have to have this baggage. People with identity are carrying 100 pounds of potatoes on their back, unnecessarily. Do you know how, excuse me, do you know how beautiful it is to live without identity? And when you feel it and know it in your heart and soul, when you know that, and you don't have to deal with that? You told me before that you have a crisis of identity. But you created that crisis for yourself. You don't have a crisis of it. You don't throw the identity away and the crisis is over. Just listen, this is heaven. Be what you are at every moment. Be the spontaneous creation of what you are at every moment. Every moment then becomes paradise. This is paradise. This is paradise. Enjoy it. Stop creating hell for yourself by creating a false identity. There is no George Gilson. Throw George Gilson away.
Nothing exists. Nothing exists. Nothing exists.